Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast on life and recovery.
Speak up. You have to speak up loud.
I have to speak up loud.
Yeah, super loud.
Well, you shout. So
I shout, hey.
Your normal voice is very shouty.
You shout, and then when people are around, you're like, hi, I've never yelled in my life. He does all the yelling. He's so loud, and that's why I'm so shell-shocked. Oh my goodness. I'm feeling for you and the people that are in my house because we took Eduardo. We took Eduardo to the shop to get cleaned up and spruced up and reconfigured. So
our Eduardo is our home espresso machine.
Yeah, it actually belongs to the church, but when COVID hit, we decided, you're coming home with us, buddy.
Well, it would be irresponsible to let
an
espresso machine just sit for that long. Like it would have
a commercial one. We have a commercial espresso machine for the people that
it would have disintegrated.
Love in our house. It probably would have disintegrated.
So we were doing the responsible thing. We brought it home, and now we're doing the responsible thing and getting it serviced.
And now we are sequestered to the Nespresso.
I do not love it.
You don't love it? Jordan said the same thing. I was like, I'm not against it. And I think it's ingenious how they have this crema, but I don't think it's crema. I think it's foam, but it's a beautiful display. And display is 50% of, the experience.
I feel like Aunt Tammy has come a long way in her technical abilities.
I know Aunt Tammy is
It's really nice to see you this morning.
Messaging and saying hi all the time. Thank you for interacting. Good morning. We love you, and we just thank you for joining us. And so the coffee, though, and I think it's typical of life, is that we like to present something on the outside. And we were just talking about this. How do we get resentments? Well, we need to be seen a certain way to be okay, or other people need to see us a certain way. So we put on these characters for display. And so that's really what we want to get rid of in recovery and really be defined by the character of God. And so we were actually talking about that.
What were we actually talking about this morning? We were talking. I said something about it would be nice if this would happen, and you said, "Oh no, it would be really bad actually if that would happen because this is what that produces."
You were provoking my Captain Recovery.
Captain Recovery.
People should come to me and ask all these recovery related things because I have this wealth, this depth, this well of knowledge of recovery.
And then when Captain Recovery comes out, what happens?
It's ugly, and usually people don't even really care about what I have to say, and so I just get hurt and I get resentful, and I have to destroy Captain Recovery, but he does pop his head up, so I try to eliminate him as soon as he comes. Yeah, we do that. All right, so it's not about what's on the outside of the cup. It's not necessarily about the presentation, although our relationship with God actually makes us presentable to the world around us.
Because if I'm living my life being the director or being Captain Recovery, which I'm not Captain Recovery, but like one that comes up for me is like super mom. I need to be super mom. I need you and my son and the world around me to see what a great mom I am.
What a great cleaner, what a great cook, what a great professional person. You pay the bills and you don't even sweat.
Yeah.
You literally don't
I can work a full-time job and take care of my house, and my kids turned out great, and look how amazing I am. And then
happy homemaker plus the profession.
That was really sabotaged super early on. I couldn't carry that off at all. So I lived many, many years under this like oppressive weight of like, I suck and I'm horrible. And so then it just comes out of me in this like yucky.
And the whole point is that it brings us to the past, which is resentment and fear of the future. So the present is where God is. The present is where we recover. The present is where we live the spiritual life. And so, hey, we're going to talk about fear today. So Vicky is going to do our reading, and it's titled Fear.
One day I decided to try something new. I took my 10-year-old son out on the St. Croix River on a wave runner. A wave runner is a small boating vehicle resembling a motorcycle. We donned life jackets and embarked on an experience that turned out to be both exhilarating and frightening. exhilarating when I let myself enjoy it, frightening when I thought too much about what I was doing and all the terrible things that could happen. Midway through our ride, my worst fear came true. We took a spill. We were floundering in 30 feet of water. The wave runner was bobbing on the waves in front of me like a motorized turtle on its back. Don't panic, my son said calmly. What if we drown? I objected. We can't, he said. We have life jackets on. See, we're floating. The machine is upside down, I said. How are we going to turn it over? Just like the man said, my son answered. The arrow points this way. With an easy gesture, we turned the machine right side up. What if we can't climb back on? I said. We can, my son replied. That's what wave runners were made for, climbing on in the water. I relaxed, and as we drove off, I wondered why I had become so frightened. I thought maybe it's because I don't trust my ability to solve problems. Maybe it's because once I almost drowned when I wasn't wearing a life jacket. But you didn't drown then either, a small voice inside reassured me. You survived. Don't panic. Problems were made to be solved. Life was made to be lived. Although sometimes we may be in over our heads, yes, we may even go under for a few moments and gulp a few mouthfuls of water, we won't drown. We're wearing and always have been wearing a life jacket. That support jacket is called God. Today, I will remember to take care of myself. When I get in over my head, God is there supporting me, even when my fears try to make me forget.
That's really good. That's a good story.
Whew.
The wave runner.
So much fear.
Exhilarating, just like life, but we have these exhilaration, we have these highs, but then we have these lows. And I think that the enemy that's trying to destroy us, whether it's addiction or a real enemy, never gives up. It never goes away. So fear is always going to be there every day. And I always picture the limo driver of fear. The limo pulls up to the door, and I have an option to stay close to God's love, and his perfect love casts out all fear, or get in the limo. And sometimes I'm in the limo and I don't even know why I'm in here. I'm like, how did I get in here? And the driver won't stop and let me out. And I don't want to be driven by fear.
Fear creeps up so sneakily and is really sometimes really subtle. And, for me, like controller fixer tendencies can really crop up, and I can just get consumed in it. And then I'll start to have conflict with the people around me, and I don't realize that actually it's like actually what I'm putting out into the world. That's what's coming back to me, right? I think it's them. I think it's their fault. But really, I'm being controlled by fear. I'm trying to control everything. I'm trying to fix everything around me. And then I start to really have trouble with the people around me.
And it's going back to being the actor and the director of like, I'm not being seen properly how I want to be. I'm not Captain Recovery. I'm not Captain Homemaker and all of that. And people don't see what I want them to see. And so I have this fear of not being valuable. I have this fear of not being good enough. I have this, and it's percolating down here. And so when I live out of my false reality, it's a great way to be consumed and driven by fear. And so if I'm living in the recovery life, the spiritual life, connected to God on a daily basis, then I'm in his love. And then I get my identity out of him. And it's a lot easier to say no to the temptation of being driven by fear. I don't want the limo today, fear. No, go away.
At 12 o'clock today, Eastern time, we have
12 p.m.
a speaker. So that's in like 3 hours. It's a small group, an intimate group on Zoom, and anyone can join. And our speaker is sharing on, now what are you going to do about it? Which I could totally, when she sent me the title of her talk, I could totally hear it in her voice. Well, now what are you going to do about it? So the information, I think, is in the last post that went up last night. I did a post with the Zoom link, and you can come in quietly and keep your camera off if you really want to, but we would love to have an opportunity to spend some time with you today at noon.
Have the fellowship and recover together, and just know that you are not alone. So join us on Zoom at noon Eastern time. We will see you then. Until then, keep the peace, be a good behavior, and wash your hands. See you